I think we're going to start now. My name is Karen, and I want to thank you so much for joining us today. You're here to join us to learn more about our very new Puerto Rico Summer Abroad program that we're going to be offering in 2022. I want to thank you again for joining us. Before we start, we wish to acknowledge this land on which the University of Toronto operates. For thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississaugas of the Credit. Today, this meeting place is still the home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land. So in terms of upcoming agenda, there's a few things that we do want to cover. So I'm going to do some introductions and to let you know who you're going to be hearing from at this information session. I'm going to provide an overview of summer abroad programs. And of course, Professor Néstor Rodríguez is here in terms of talking more about our program and the course that we're going to be offering in Puerto Rico. After that, I will be explaining the application process, costs, financial assistance, how to apply, and of course, we have a time to answer all of your questions as well. So just to let you know, in terms of housekeeping, this is a webinar. We can't see you, but you can ask us questions. Could ask us any questions during the presentation, especially after the professor speaks. If you have any questions in regards to the course or the field trips, please feel free to jot down your questions and we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Also to let you know that this information session is recorded. The video will be sent to all attendees and posted on our Summer Abroad website in a few days. So in terms of introductions, as I mentioned, my name is Karen. I'm the manager of the Summer Abroad programs. On the back end, we have my colleagues. We have Wendy, and we also have Lorraine, who will be answering a lot of your questions as well. We are also very fortunate to have Professor Néstor Rodríguez, who's the director of Caribbean Studies at New College, and also a professor of Spanish and Portuguese studies. He'll be speaking more about this course and this program momentarily. So in terms of Summer Abroad, just in case you haven't really heard about our programs, believe it or not, we're going to be celebrating our 50th anniversary. So in 1972, we offered our first program in Siena, Italy, and it has grown so much from then. Summer Abroad is an opportunity for a student to earn a full year arts and science credit at a destination. Course material will be related to the destination of where you are going. It does not involve transfer credit. Once you complete the program, complete the course, will be contributed to your CGPA and your transcript. Again, it's a very seamless process in terms of completing. It is in the summer, so it does not interfere with your regular academic studies as well. This is an opportunity to choose a program in destinations from all around the world. This year, we're going to be offering programs in over 10 destinations, and we have many courses to choose from as well. Most of our courses are taught by U of T faculty, such as this one. So it's great that you will get to know your professors. You are involved in a small class. And so your professors travel with you to the destination and not only learning about the destination and immersed in the course material, you'll also get to really know your professor and the research that your professor is heavily involved in. Lots of students take our classes in terms of fulfilling a program, breadth, or distribution requirement. There are various reasons why students may take this course. And because there are various reasons of students taking summer abroad program, you'll get to meet students from different disciplines, from different campuses, from different departments. It's a good way of actually expanding your contacts as well. It is an all-inclusive study option. What we mean by that is that you're not stuck in a lecture hall the whole day. There are mandatory field trips. You are actually living in the destination of choice. You get to live in accommodations in a partner university. So you're fully immersed in the destination of where you are going. We also have on-site staff that is hired by U of T that is non-academic. You want to know more about the place that you're in. We don't just leave you there and figure things out yourself. We do have on-site staff that is dedicated to make sure that you're well-oriented to your new city and new country, but they're also there to help you with emergencies. They know how to speak the language, the home language of the destination, and they're there to really help our group. Our office also hosts pre-departure orientation, and we work very closely with the Safety Abroad office at U of T. Again, we don't just leave you alone taking part of this program. We make sure that you are well prepared for traveling as well as the safety precautions ahead. As I mentioned, participating in a summer abroad program, your destination becomes a living textbook. It offers immersion experience perfect for various forms of studies, as I mentioned, so you get to fulfill lots of breadth requirements as well as program requirements or even even an elective, is it gives you a better understanding of international issues and concerns. So it gets you out of your bubble and really gets to make you open your mind and know, the different types of situations as well as experiences from different countries. And you get to combine academics and travel. So you earn a full year credit, but you are in Puerto Rico as well, and you get to really discover the country as well as the city. Just a few more points about the advantages of taking the summer abroad. There are professional benefits as well. You build a global network. You will be meeting different guest speakers as well as different groups, and maybe some people from the university, the partner university. You have a global awareness and skills. You dip your toes in an international experience, and you explore possibilities for graduate school. If this is an area that you really want to investigate and study in graduate school, maybe this will be a great experience for you to help you fulfill that requirement. And lastly, there are personal developments. You make lifelong friends. Lots of our students who participate in summer abroad, they do make really lifelong friends after the program. These are small classes. You get to stay in accommodations and residences. So you really get to meet your fellow classmates and be friends with them afterwards. You gain communication and presentation skills. You gain a meaningful cultural experience, and it builds you a global gateway to future travel. So once you do travel to Puerto Rico, it'll give you more of a sense of other territories and cities that you want to visit in the future. Okay, so right before we get to the course details, I just want to give you the general notes of this new program. This is the first year we are offering the summer abroad program in Puerto Rico. We're so excited to be offering this program. The dates of this program is from Friday, June 24th to Friday, July 22. So that is 4 weeks time. It is hosted by the Universidad del Sagrado Corazon, which is university in San Juan, Puerto Rico. And I know that the professor will speak more about the university as well as the surrounding environments and the town that you will be staying in. And the course that we're going to be offering is CAR 332Y, which is Puerto Rican Culture and Environment. The classes will be held. Now, this could change, but in general, it will be held from Monday to Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. You're going to be gaining a Y credit, so it is a very immersive program and course. And this does not include all the mandatory field trips that you're going to be participating in as well. We will have an on-site coordinator that will be based in Puerto Rico. So this person will help with field trips as well as be an additional contact once you are abroad. And just the purpose of the program is primarily an academic program. So you will be studying, you will be, doing projects, you'll be immersed in the environment. So that is your primary purpose of taking this program. But your experience will be similar to that of a student in Puerto Rico. If you are staying in residence here, it may be different than the residence featured in Puerto Rico as well. So just keep that in mind when you are looking into this program as well. So right now, I am going to pass the baton to Professor Néstor Rodríguez to speak more about this program and this course.
Thank you very much, Karen. Glad to see that the program is going well. And I'm so grateful for your help and the whole team and the Summer Abroad office, Woodsford College. I'm going to be talking about some of the things that Karen have mentioned. First of all, I want to introduce myself. I'm Néstor Rodríguez from the Spanish and Portuguese department, and I also teach in the Caribbean Studies program at New College. And this is a very exciting initiative that I want to see succeeding because I'm very invested in Puerto Rico, in the Caribbean in general as a specialist. I have been working on research on the Hispanic Caribbean for over 20 years. I also lived in Puerto Rico for 16 years. My whole childhood, my high school, university, everything was in San Juan. I know very well the area. I know the system, the university institutions, everything that is connected to this program is thought from that experience that I accumulated when I was, not that long ago, when I was younger. As you can see in the map, Puerto Rico is located on the northeastern part of the Caribbean. It is actually an archipelago. There are small islands on the eastern side and the north side of the main island of Puerto Rico. For me, it has been very rewarding to study that area in particular of the Hispanic Caribbean, because for me, a laboratory for understanding the capitalist system in general in the world. In the Caribbean region is where all these experiments with the capitalist system that we know about started. The plantation economy, economy, and everything that was generated from that, including the culture of the region. So we're going to be paying a close attention to the case of Puerto Rico in relation to the whole region. That is something that attracted me for decades in terms of research. So I hope to be able to transmit that kind of excitement that about studying Puerto Rico as a laboratory for capitalism. As Karin mentioned, the program will be hosted at the Universidad del Sagrado Corazón, or Sacred Heart University, in area of Santurce in San Juan, Puerto Rico. It is a very old institution from the 19th century. It is very important in Puerto Rico for its engineering programs, School of Communication, and also its creative writing program, one of the first in the Americas. It's very, very exciting to be hosting the program there in an institution with that kind of history in the education system in the island. The Universidad del Sagrado Corazón is located in the Santurce neighborhood. It is an area of San Juan that is thriving with cultural activities. As you can see here, the artists are taking the walls of the buildings and just expressing themselves. There are very famous painters from Puerto Rico, like Rafael Treyes, for example, also participating in this initiative, just covering the area with art. There's graffiti and murals by famous artists. So that's the kind of scene that you will see when you walk around the vicinities of Sagrado in the Santurce neighborhood. What you see on the left side of the slide is a community project called Taller Comunidad Lagoico. It's a community center that was established a couple of years ago, and it has attracted my attention because it is very important right now for congregating not only artists, but musicians, academics, and the general population in the Santurce neighborhood to talk about their issues in the community and also to promote their cultural events. This was a school that the government closed down and the community claimed it, and now is connected to many programs, especially in the US, that donate money to their activities and initiatives. So we're going to be visiting Lagoico, as it is known in Puerto Rico, and also be very fortunate to have as our on-site coordinator one of the founders of this institution. You might remember this scene, this neighborhood that you see there with all these colorful buildings is La Perla, which was the setting for a very famous video by Daddy Yankee and Luis Fonsi, Despacito. That's where the video was shot, and it's an area that you could visit. It's in the old San Juan area, walking distance from Sagrado. We're going to be also talking a lot about architecture in Puerto Rico, and for sure we'll visit the area of La Perla and Old San Juan that you see in the top of the image. The course that I will be teaching is Puerto Rican Culture and Environment. As you notice, is a course that will include not only detailed commentary on cultural and historical elements of Puerto Rico, but also its environmental history. Puerto Rico is one of the few areas in the Hispanic Caribbean where there are successful projects that involve the environment, and that is connected to culture of sustainable agriculture, culture of self-reliance in community initiatives that are totally disconnected from the government. So those are some of the aspects that I will incorporate in the course and that I think make Puerto Rico a very interesting area to study. One of the initiatives that I have been paying close attention to in the last years is Casa Pueblo and Bosque Escuela in the central region of the island, specifically in the town of Adjuntas. This is a community center and is run by the people from that area of Adjuntas. It started in the 1980s as a grassroots movement against an initiative to have a mining company establishing some kind of project in that area, in the mountainous region of Puerto Rico, and a group of people just started organizing themselves against that idea. They stopped the project. After that, they developed many other wonderful ideas. One of them was to have the town of Adjuntas disconnected from the electrical grid of the island. It's very expensive, the energy in Puerto Rico. It is run by a private sector. Actually, it's a Canadian company company, the one that is running the energy in the island right now. And in Adjuntas, they decided that they didn't want to participate of that. They started experimenting with solar power. That was something that grew very rapidly, and now the whole center of Adjuntas is powered by solar panels. They expanded the initiative of Casa Pueblo to include agricultural projects and also the Bosque Escuela, or the forest school, to teach conservation and to teach about how to develop sustainable agriculture, and also to teach the population about everything related to Puerto Rican ecology. So this is a very important community project that we will visit as part of excursions of the program, and we will be very fortunate enough to talk with the founder of Casa Pueblo. He has already been contacted and was happy to know that a Canadian group was going to visit. What you see here is another of the sites that we will be visiting as part of the excursions of the program. Is El Yunque Rainforest, an area also in the mountains of Puerto Rico that is run by the United States Forest Service. It's a tropical rainforest. As you can see there, the vegetation is full of trails and cascades, and it's something that we need to visit to get a sense of the biodiversity of the island, and also hopefully to see the Puerto Rican parrot. Is the one of the national birds in Puerto Rico, and it's endemic to Puerto Rico. You cannot see it anywhere else in the region. So El Yunque is the site where the Puerto Rican parrot is seen. Is now in danger of extinction. So there are many programs try to make the Puerto Rican parrot reproduce to a healthy population again. It was very decimated with the last hurricanes that affected the island 3 years ago, Maria especially. The San Juan Bay National Estuary. This is another site that we will visit as part of the course. This is a very interesting project that goes directly into my idea of connecting culture with issues of the environment, discussing the Puerto Rican culture. As you can see here in this map on top of the slide, this is the estuary of San Juan, and an estuary is an arm of the sea that goes inland. In that area of San Juan, you can see there are several lagoons. They are all connected by these small streams that we call caños in Spanish. There is a huge effort to protect, especially the mangrove areas in the San Juan estuary. Mangrove area is very important to protect the community from hurricanes. Hurricanes are a yearly occurrence in the Caribbean, and Puerto Rico has been very affected by those in the last year. So this program in the San Juan Bay National Estuary is trying to produce more mangrove forests to protect the communities. They have many initiatives. One of them is monitoring the water quality in the area, also planting trees in the area. These are all voluntary events that they organize with the community, and they are eager for us to participate in them with the Puerto Rican citizens too. So I hope that we can join them in this effort. It's very well organized. They will also provide us with talks, plenty of information about what they are doing to protect the area. Hacienda La Esperanza. This is in the town of Manatí, northern part of Puerto Rico. And as you see here, is an old hacienda. It's a sugarcane plantation that now is a museum. It's also National Reserve. They have incorporated very well the landscape to what was in the 18th century, a site of slavery, and also this connection to capitalist system that I was talking about. This is the example that I could find of capitalist modernity in working in full trot here. On the right side of the slide, you could see the old machinery from the 18th century. On the left side is the old house, is now the museum. Surrounding those structures is the trails and the reserve that we will be visiting. They also have programs for reforestation, and we will participate of those as well while we talk about the history of the plantation in the context of Puerto Rico. As Karin mentioned at the beginning, there's detailed information in this website that we have developed for the program. And of course, any questions that you have, you could also contact me or any of my peers in the Study Abroad office. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That really sounds amazing. Thank you for going in depth, especially with the field trips that you plan on going to. I'm just going to go through some of the questions we have here from students. One student wants to know, how is the involvement, I guess the students' involvement with the community centers initiatives such as Casa Pueblo during the course?
We will visit them. They already separated some dates for our trip. They will provide us with information on how they work. We will visit the Bosque Escuela. We will see how they produce their organic coffee, everything related to their initiatives. We will receive information directly from the founder of Casa Pueblo.
One other question we have here is, does the inability to speak Spanish infringe on the full participation of this trip? Just an aside, for most of our courses, you don't necessarily have to know the language, but I guess the student wants to know if it will impinge on the full participation.
That's a great question. It won't affect at all the participation in the program if you don't know Spanish. In Puerto Rico, English is the second language, the second official language, let's say. People in all of these institutions that we will be visiting speak English very well. They don't struggle like me with this language. They know very well how to communicate. So no worries about that at all.
Also, does U of T have recommendations or referrals for Spanish courses to become affiliated with the language? Yes, we have many courses to refer to. Professor Rodríguez actually is affiliated with Department of Spanish and Portuguese as well. So we could definitely provide you more information in terms of courses that you may want to take at U of T if you want to know more about the culture and the language and Caribbean studies. So we have a whole lot of questions in regards to language requirements. How does U of T process the grades? As I mentioned before, this is just like taking any other course at U of T. If you do complete the course, your grade will be affiliated and it will contribute to your CGPA and will be on your transcript. So we'll not say, summer abroad on your transcript. It will say the actual course code, just like any other course that you take at U of T. In terms of how comparable will the host institution and services be to those of U of T, I will get into that a bit more in the presentation. And how are students with disabilities included? I will get to this in a few minutes as well, but you're more than welcome to apply. If you're affiliated with accessibility services, we do ask that you mention that in your application and to upload any letters from your accessibility advisor. I could talk more about that later in the presentation. Will there be time for non-school related activities, either with a group?
Yes, the course will be running from Monday to Thursdays. You will have plenty of time to explore the city and the island on your own. Also, I could give out many recommendations of what to do during those days.
Students have downtime. Are they able to explore the island independently? Again, yes, there will be plenty of time. There's no classes during weekends. And for what I hear, Puerto Rico is pretty small in terms of getting around. Unlike other countries that we have programs where it might take a couple hours to go from one city to the next, it seems you will have time, some downtime as well as some personal time to really explore the city as well as the country. How would we be graded? Will there be exams, essays, or presentations?
Yes, the course will include exams and also field note journal. That's I have decided to use as a means of grading the work of students in the course. That will be the main two components of the grade.
Fantastic. And the course outline is also on our website. I'm sure it's also on our chat box as well. So more information there if you want to know more about the evaluation as well as things that will be covered in the course. And lastly, is electricity fully restored to the island?
That's a very important question too. Thank you, Christina. Yes, it has been restored. It still has issues. All of these institutions we will be visiting have alternate means of operating when the power is down. That is not happening that much anymore. It was the case a few months ago, but it has been resolved.
So I think that's all that we have in our questions. So thank you again. I will get more into the program activities as well as the application process. Just to add in terms of the program activities, Sagrado has a really great partner and they are offering features such as a welcome dinner, a catered cultural exchange dinner, and even one salsa dance class, which sounds like a lot of fun. And they are also going to be coordinating along with the professor visits to the El Yunque Rainforest, El Morro, and San Cristobal Colonial Forts, as well as the Puerto Rico Museum of Modern Arts, which I'm very jealous that everyone will be going to. I'm sure there's additional offers there through the university, but that's just a few that will be offered for our group. A couple of notes about accommodations. The dormitory accommodation will be on Sagrado's campus. It will be double occupancy with Wi-Fi, with 2 twin beds, desks, and comfortable chairs, closets, air conditioning, which is very important, and 1 small refrigerator. Each floor will have a kitchen, a living room with television and common areas. Other facilities include a computer room. I believe you have access to the library as well, recreation room, and laundry at a reasonable cost. The University of Toronto students who participate in this program will get a number of vouchers, which will be offered for breakfast or lunch on campus. So this will cover most of your breakfast and lunches during the days that you go to class, but not all of them. We do ask students to budget for dinners as well as weekend meals for this program. Residence life can be difficult for some students, such as noise, curfew, sharing kitchen and washroom facilities. So if you're not used to that, just keep that in mind that, it may be different than what you're used to here in Toronto. But it does sound like really great facilities right nearby and right on campus. This is very buzzy, but I did take a few screenshots of what Sagrado has provided for us in terms of what to expect in your accommodations. So you got 2 twin beds, recreation room, as well as a kitchen. This is the front of the accommodation building that you'll be staying in as well, which it looks really nice. And just a few pictures of the campus as well. Here, I believe, is the library, the entrance to the library, as well as an aerial view of the main building of the campus, which is very close, as you see, to the water. So it seems like it's near to a lot of facilities and a lot of places as well. And it seems like everything is very close by to the campus as well. So you're not just, in a very open area. It seems like it's within the city, which sounds great. So in terms of eligibility participating in this program, it is quite simple. So U of T students from all 3 campuses could apply to this course, and you must be in good academic standing. So that means that you must have a CGPA of over 1.75 at the time of application. First year students with no final grades can apply to our courses. However, this specific course you need for full year credit equivalents in order for you to apply. So that is the prerequisite of taking this specific course. More information is on our website. U of T students in a professional faculty or graduate program, U of T alumni, non-degree students, you're more than welcome to apply as well. And students from other North American universities require a letter of permission. But if you have friends from a North American university that may be interested in taking this course and apply for transfer credit, they could apply as well. But just keep in mind that the priority is for current undergraduate U of T students. If you're thinking of applying to this program or have already started an application, here are some highly advisable things you should do before submitting your application. As you know, we're in the middle of the COVID pandemic, so you want to become ready and up to date for traveling during the COVID pandemic times. So we do recommend to please review the COVID-19 planning page on the Safety Abroad U of T website and to go through the travel checklist. The Safety Abroad office, which is important to U of T as well as our connection and partnership with Safety Abroad, they do provide a very thorough checklist to go through. So it's really good, and we do highly advise for you to review this checklist. It provides some great things to guide you through important things to do before you travel. You also must be fully vaccinated as a U of T student by completing a COVID vaccine series as indicated on the Global Affairs Travel Advisory. You are taking a U of T course, so just as the U of T vaccination requirement, you're expected to be fully vaccinated. However, you will have to look at the destination, as for example in Puerto Rico, and to see what their requirements are, because it could be different from Canada. So please review that, but our office will also work with you in terms of ensuring that you have everything that is required. We also recommend that you review our FAQ section on the Summer Abroad website. There's lots of information there, and it provides you things to think about when planning for your trip. So just to get you a sense, this is the Safety Abroad website. I'm sure the link will be shared with you momentarily. And they do provide a very detailed checklist for you to consider looking at prior to applying to a program such as this. As we navigate through COVID world we're currently living in, we review the most up-to-date requirements. So we do require or advised you to review on an ongoing basis the most up-to-date requirements, including various COVID requirements such as screening, testing, proof of vaccination, and quarantine requirement. Our office, in partnership with Safety Abroad, will be monitoring and reviewing the updates as well. But you want to make sure as students that you are also on top of all this and you review the requirements along with us as well. Students who are admitted to this program must make their own travel arrangements to Puerto Rico as well as to Sagrado. So you will have to make your own travel arrangements, flight, as well as an Uber or taxi to the residence. Of course, we will guide you in terms of recommended flights to take, as well as directions on how to get to Sagrado as well. So we do hold pre-departure orientations and we will guide you to how to get to the campus, but it's your own responsibility to make sure that you book those flights. Our office will provide directions, recommended flights, but ultimately it's your responsibility for booking, confirming your own travel arrangement. You're also responsible for arranging your own visa if necessary. So we will gladly give you supporting documents provided by our office in U of T, which includes the purpose of your visit and to help you support your application for your visa. So again, all of this information is in our website as well as the Safety Abroad website as well. Okay, so this is also on our website. This is the general cost of what to budget for and how much the cost will be for this program. So of course, you have an application fee of $200. The course fee is $2,100 for domestic students and $3,255 for international students. This is a U of T course. We have to account for U of T incidental fees. The field trips that the professor talked about, as well as any additional excursions that is part of the course, is also included here. So it includes transportation as well as entrance fees. Accommodations, including most of your vouchers as well for breakfast and for lunch, is $850 for the whole 4 weeks. As of December, flight to Puerto Rico from Toronto was $819. So that is what we budgeted for students. And meals, because it will be covered for all meals throughout your 4 weeks, we do suggest to budget about $350. So the approximate total for domestic students is $5,684. And for international students is $6,839. Of course, you could take a look at the outline that is located on our website. Now, in terms of financial aid, we do have or recommend a few options for you. For government aid, if you are eligible for OSAP, you can apply for an extension, or you could apply for OSAP if you're doing 1.5 credits during the summer. So if you are eligible, you could apply for OSAP. That could be one option. Another option is to apply for one of our summer abroad awards. Award application is embedded in the Puerto Rico program application as well. So the eligibilities to apply for this award is you must have 4.0 U of T credits as of last December with a minimum CGPA of 2.25. You must be a Canadian citizen or permanent resident. And we do look at financial need as well as academic merit. We have set aside 2 summer abroad awards for this program in particular at $3,000 each. So if you are eligible and you're interested to apply for one of these awards, it's embedded in our program application and you just have to go through the steps in our application portal. Just as long as you submit the bursary application in addition to the program application by March 1st, it should be okay. And there are other awards to consider, such as the Marjorie Simmons Award, the Faculty of Arts Award, CIE Plus through the Center for International Experience. And we do suggest that you check in with your registrar's office as well to see if there's any opportunities for you and any department awards that may be available as well through Caribbean Studies or any other sources. We do recommend that you look into this, and we will share with students as well if we do hear of any new awards that are available. So in terms of applications are now open, and the application deadline is March 1st at 5:00 p.m. Participants are selected based on a set of criteria. So it's not on a first come, first served basis. You could create an account and then save it, go back to it, work on your personal statement. Just as long as everything is submitted by March 1st, then everyone will be assessed equally. We'll be looking at academic suitability, so you don't have to upload your transcript. We have access to that. So we'll be looking at your grades as well as the courses that you may have taken. We're also going to look at your personal statement, which is a 500-word maximum. Personal statement, there's no perfect statement that we're looking for. We just want you to answer honestly of why you want to take this program, how it's going to influence your academic experience, etc. And we do provide some helpful questions to help you guide you through this personal statement. The last step in applying is to pay for the $200 application fee, and you must do this before March 1st. This $200 application fee is refunded to you if you're not selected, and there's a separate application fee as well as application for each summer abroad program. You can apply to up to 2 summer abroad programs just as long as they don't overlap. So just to give you a sense of what it looks like to apply for this program, this is just a snapshot of what you'll see on the first page if you do apply for the Puerto Rico program. It's pretty seamless in terms of its process. We do ask you for relevant course and experiences. So if you want to let us know the other courses that may be related to this course that may help you with your application, we give you free text for you to fill that out. Again, you have to pay for the $200 application fee before March 1st, and you must submit your application. We'll go from incomplete to pending by March 1st. And if you see that, then your job is done, and you'll just have to wait for us to assess the applications and to provide notification. So in terms of admission decisions, our decisions will be sent in late March to early April. Now, there's just a few notes in addition to this as well. It's really important to note that admissions for on-site summer abroad programs are conditional upon the Government of Canada allowing travel outside. Currently, the Government of Canada has an avoid essential travel advisory in place. So this is still going on. And we are so optimistic and we are hopeful that this advisory is going to be lifted by the end of March. If it is, we will proceed with offering this program on site. If the travel restrictions are not lifted by mid to late March, the on-site programs will pivot and will become virtual. This is very similar to what we offered last year. If this happens, then admitted students will be asked whether they would like to take the virtual course or not. So we give you time to let us know if you still want to continue on taking the virtual offering or if you don't. And we do ask what you are thinking of doing when you're completing the application. So it is top of mind, but is not a binding decision until if that time comes. So we will not hold you to it. We will check in with you again if the time comes, if you would like to take the virtual course or not. If you decide that you do not want to proceed with taking the course virtually, we will refund your application fee at that point in time. If you are set in participating on the course on site, if you're set on going to Puerto Rico and nothing else, there's no harm in applying, because if we have to switch to virtual because of circumstances that we cannot control, then we will refund your application fee. Now, I know this is a lot of information, and I'm more than happy to answer more questions, or Lorraine and Wendy is happy to answer more questions if you do have any at this point. Let's assume that everything is going and planned and we're moving forward with offering the course on site. You will have 1 week to confirm your participation. So we will let you know that you're admitted to the program. 7 days from that date, you are required to pay a non-refundable $1,000 deposit. If you decline an offer, you will not get your application fee back, and remaining fees are due roughly 4 weeks after the deposit is due. We will confirm this date when the time comes. And just a couple of notes before we get to questions about insurance and visa. As you could imagine, having insurance is pretty important nowadays. So we do recommend the Canadian citizens require a passport valid 6 months beyond return date. If you're a Canadian citizen, you do not require a visa to enter Puerto Rico. International students must check with their own embassy and consulate for requirements of entering Puerto Rico. Summer Abroad provides support documentation. So if you do need a visa, we will provide you with an admission letter as well as any additional documentation that you may need. And because of that, we do recommend that you do apply in Toronto or Canada if you can. So that way it's easier for us to help you with that visa application. So in terms of insurance, you want to make sure, we do recommend that you research airline as well as travel insurance and cancellation insurance as well. There's a lots of different policies that are added since COVID has started with airlines as well as travel insurance. And so we do recommend that if you do get travel insurance, read through the fine print and know what you are covered for. We will offer more directions as well as recommendations regarding this to all admitted students. So that's about it in terms of the formal part of this presentation. There are many ways to be in contact with us in the next few weeks, especially. Our website's very valuable. There's an FAQ section as well as a lot of information regarding the Puerto Rico program. We have virtual program information sessions for other programs. You could book a virtual appointment with a summer abroad advisor. You could subscribe to our monthly e-newsletter or start creating a summer abroad account through our portal. We'll make sure that we connect with you through email if you do that as well. So I'm going to get to our questions now. Can we arrange for students to book on the same flight to travel to and from Puerto Rico to Canada? We're going to have recommended flights. So what we've done in the past is we do recommend a flight for students to book. During your pre-departure orientation or through Facebook, if you connect with admitted students who are also participating in the program, you could yourselves coordinate taking the same flights and maybe taking the same taxi or Uber to campus. Very much possible, and we will guide you through that once you are admitted. Can we get multiple bursaries and awards, or is it each student limited to apply for one? In terms of summer abroad awards, it is just one. So if you apply through the Puerto Rico application and you do receive one, it would just be one award that is administered through Woodsworth College. Because there's many students taking the program, we want to make sure that each student, if they are selected, gets at least one. However, as I mentioned, there are different other awards that you could apply for through different departments, possibly your college, your faculty. You could also top that up as well through additional funding. And there's also OSAP and work study placements as well. Again, if you're applying for an award and you do get selected, it will just be for one award through awards that are administered through Woodsworth College. What is the limit of students for the trip? Can students pay for their own accommodations near the school accommodations or an alternative? We do recommend that all students do stay in the same accommodations. If that policy does change, we will let you know. But for what I know so far, we would like to have all students do consider staying in the same accommodations. The limit of students for the trip, as I mentioned, it is a small class, and this is the first time that we are offering this course. So we don't really have a hard number. I like to say about 20 students to be participating in this course. Again, this number could change, increase, or decrease. That would be sort of like the ballpark number that we're thinking of right now. To be clear, are the bursaries in the application in addition to other awards available through my college? Yes. So you could, if you're a Victoria College student, you could apply for an award through that college and also apply for an award through Puerto Rico as well. And is the credit for this course valid for all Caribbean study program, specialist, major, and minor? Yes, it should contribute to a major or minor or specialist. I think that is all the questions we have so far. If you have additional questions, please feel free to email us. So thank you again for joining us. We really hope that we get to see you in Puerto Rico this summer. Again, thank you, Professor Rodríguez, Lorraine, and Wendy from the Summer Abroad Office for helping out. And I hope you have a lovely day. Thanks so much.